Hello students, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing amazing. So welcome all of you at AriserTalent, and in our last lecture that is related to metals and non-metals, we have discussed some of the NCERT questions. So we are left with few questions, and in our today's lecture we are going to cover these questions. So until now we have done with the 9th question, and now the 10th question in the series will be state 2 ways to prevent the rusting of iron. Now we have discussed that in the topic of the corrosion, we have different methods for preventing the rusting of iron. So either you should do paint, you will do the galvanizing, you can adopt any of the methods among them to prevent the rusting of the iron. So you can adopt the method, that is, first one is by painting, and the second one is by galvanizing. So we can take any of the two methods here to prevent the rusting of the iron. Clear? Now let's move forward to the question number 2. Question number 11 you have. What type of oxides are formed when non-metal combine with oxygen? So one thing you know that whenever a metal is going to combine with oxygen, it is going to form the which oxides? Basic oxides. But whenever a non-metal is combined with oxygen, it is definitely going to form the acidic oxide. Clear? So whenever a non-metal is combined with oxygen, what it will form? It will either form acidic oxide, or sometimes it also form neutral oxide. Clear? So either it is going to form acidic oxide or it will going to form the neutral oxide here. So what you have to do, suppose I am assuming the non-metal, that is sulfur. Sulfur is a non-metal. Whenever a sulfur is going to react with water, it is forming SO2. And when S plus O2 react, it will form SO2. And sulfur dioxide is nothing but it is an acidic oxide in nature. So this is sulfur, this is oxygen, and this is sulfur dioxide. Clear? So this is sulfur dioxide and this is acidic in nature. Now, the next case is non-metal is also going to form the neutral oxide. It is also forming the neutral oxide here. So, how will be the neutral oxides form? Suppose I am considering H2. H2 is hydrogen, which is a non-metal. Whenever a non-metal is going to react with oxygen, it will form water. So, hydrogen and oxygen are going to form water, and water is neither a acidic oxide nor basic oxide. In fact, it is a neutral oxide we are getting here. Clear? So, this is hydrogen, this is oxygen, this is water, and water is neutral oxide you have. So whenever a non-metal is going to react with oxygen, either it is going to form acidic oxide or it is going to form the neutral oxide. So this is the solution of this question. Just copy this from here. Now let's proceed to the next question. Next question is give reasons. First, platinum, gold and silver are used to make jewelry. So you have seen that the jewelry we are wearing is not made up of the iron, aluminium or some other metal. In fact, we are wearing the jewelry that is made up of the platinum, gold and silver. And why are we preferring these metals over the other metals? The main reason is that these metals are non-reactive. because they are lying below hydrogen in the reactivity series, and secondly, they are not going to be corroded easily. They do not show any corrosion property, and third one is they are also malleable and ductile, so we can convert them into the any of the shape. So the reason for the first answer will be, the first reason is they are malleable and ductile. Second one is they are non-reactive. And the third one is they do not corrode easily. Clear? So these are the reasons that we are preferring the jewelry that is made up of platinum, gold and silver. So this is our first part. Let's move to the B part. This is our A part. Sodium, potassium and lithium are stored under the oil. So the reason for storing sodium, potassium and lithium in an oil is that sodium, potassium and lithium are lying above hydrogen in the reactivity series. It means these metals are very much reactive. So whenever they are exposed to air, they will catch the fire easily. That's why we have to store it under the oil. So the reason for this will be, this is our B part. The first one is they are highly reactive metals. They are highly reactive metals. The second thing is whenever they are exposed to air, they will catch the fire easily. So the second reason is when exposed to air, they will catch fire easily. So that's why sodium, potassium and lithium are stored under the oil. Third question. Aluminium is highly reactive metal, yet it is used to make utensils for cooking. So this is a very interesting question, that instead of being more reactive, why we are using the aluminium utensils? We are using the aluminium utensils whenever aluminium is exposed to air, it is going to form a layer of aluminium oxide, which act as a preventive layer for reaction, for the further reactions. So that's why we are using aluminium for the coating, because it is going to form a layer of oxide on itself. So the third part is, that is our C part. Aluminium when react with air, it form aluminium oxide layer. It is going to form a layer of aluminium oxide which is known as Al2O3, which act as a protective layer. So that's why we are preferring aluminium for making utensils. D part. Carbonate and sulfide ores are usually converted into oxide during the process of extraction. So this is the last question which is related to your metallurgical part. We have done the extraction of the different metals, but we have seen there that usually carbonate and sulfides are converted into the oxides. So these are being converted into the oxides because from the oxides it is very easy to extract any metal. Suppose I have provided with the zinc oxide. So rather than the zinc carbonate or zinc sulfide, it is very easy to obtain the metal from its oxide form. So the reason behind this is, the D part I am solving here. This is our D part. It is easy to obtain metal in the oxide form. It is easy to obtain metal from its oxide rather than carbonates and sulfides. Clear? That's why we are using the oxides of the metal to extract the metal from it. So these are the solutions here, just copy it from here. Let's move to the 13th question. You must have seen that tarnished copper vessels being cleaned with the lemon or tamarind juice. Explain why these substances are effective in cleaning the vessels. So the very interesting question. This is a general activity you have observed in your house, that whenever the copper vessels get tarnished, you will use the lemon to rub it, so the shining of the copper reappears very quickly. So why it is happening so? You know that the tamarind juice and lemon are sour in nature. It means they are going to contain any acid, and the acid present there will be in lemon, we have the citric acid. So whenever the copper is going to react with the acid, it is going to form, or it is going to extract the copper carbonate or copper sulfide present on it. So whenever these things are extracted from the metal, you can see that the luster is going to be appeared again. Clear? So the reason behind that will be copper vessels are tarnished with lemon or tamarind juice because they contain acid. And which type of the acid? They contain the citric acid, because they contain acid, and when acid going to react with copper, the layer of copper carbonate or layer of copper sulfide is removed. Whenever these metals are going to react with the copper, the layer of both these substances have been removed and the copper recovers its shiny appearance. So in the NCERT questions, you have seen that most of the questions are reason based. So you have to write the appropriate reason for a particular question, and half of the question you have seen that have been asked from your reactivity series. So this is the answer for this question. Now we are proceeding to the next question, that is our question number 14. Differentiate between metal and non-metal on the basis of their chemical properties only. So on the basis of their physical properties, we have seen the malleability, ductility, conductivity and luster, hardness. These are the physical properties, but you have to distinguish them on the basis of their chemical properties now. So let's make a difference table here. So here we are writing metals and here we are writing non-metals. So the first difference between metal and non-metal on the basis of their chemical reactivity. It means whenever a metal is going to react with oxygen, it is forming basic oxide, or you can say amphoteric oxide. But non-metal, when going to react with O2, it is going to form the acidic oxide, or in the other hand, it is also forming the neutral oxide. So first difference is that when metal react with oxygen, it form basic or amphoteric oxides. Clear? And whenever a non-metal is going to react with oxygen, they are going to form acidic or neutral oxide. Clear? Metals have a ability to displace the hydrogen from dilute acids, but non-metals is not going to displace them. So the second difference between them will be metals displace hydrogen from acids. Dilute acids. On the other hand, non-metal is not going to displace hydrogen. So the second reason is non-metals do not displace hydrogen. Next difference. The first difference is that is the oxide they are forming, and the second difference is about the displacement of hydrogen. The third basic difference between the metal and non-metal is that whenever a metal is going to form any compound, it will be electrovalent in nature. But whenever a non-metal is forming the compound, it is covalent in nature. So, when they react, compound form is electrovalent in nature. But whenever a non-metal reacts, it is going to form covalent compounds. Clear? So it is forming the compound which is electrovalent in nature, and it is forming the covalent compound. So these are the three distinguished points which is used to categorize metal and non-metal. Just copy this from here. Now let's move to the next question in this series. We have th question, a very long paragraph type question. Again, you have to read the each statement carefully so you can identify the clue here. A man went door to door posing as a goldsmith. He promised to bring back the glitter of old and dull gold ornaments. So we have generally seen that whenever a person or a goldsmith they are coming door to door, and they will say that they will give you the shiny appearance again of your old bangles or old jewelry. An unsuspecting lady gave a set of gold bangles to him, then he dipped in a particular solution. So he has just taken the bangles of that lady and he has just dipped it in the solution. The bangles sparkled like the new, but their weight was reduced drastically. So what they had done, the bangles appear shining, but their weight has been reduced. So the lady was upset, but after the futile argument, the man beat a hasty retreat. Can you play the detective to find out the nature of the solution he had used? So the lady is giving the bangles to the man who is coming to her doorstep and he is saying that he will recover the original shining of the bangles again. So what the man has done? The man which is suspecting as a goldsmith, what he has done, he has just take a bangles of that lady and he has dipped it in the solution known as aqua regia. And what is aqua regia? Aqua regia is actually a solution of 1 part of HNO3 and 3 parts of HCl. So whenever you dip this gold jewelry in this solution, you know that the shining will recover easily, but this aqua regia is going to extract the gold part from your bangles and the weight will reduce drastically. Clear? So, what the man has done, man has dipped the gold bangles in aqua regia. And what is aqua regia? Aqua regia is a one part of HNO3, that is nitric acid. One part of HNO3, that is nitric acid, and 3 part of HCl. And 3 parts of HCl are hydrochloric acid. So, he has dipped this bangles in the solution of aqua regia and the shining has recovered again. But aqua regia has just extract the amount of gold from the bangles, and only this detective is known a method that how he can give the bangles again to that woman and how he can recover the extracted weight from the gold bangles. So, this is what the man has done. Man has just dipped the gold bangles in the solution of aqua regia. So, this is how the goldsmith fooled us by saying that they can recover the jewelry again. Clear? So, this is a very interesting question you have. Now, let's move to the last question of our NCERT, that is question number 16. Question is, give reasons that why copper is used to make the water tanks. So, you have seen that the water tanks are generally made up of the copper and not of the steel. We have not made the tanks of steel, we are using the copper. So, the first reason is that the copper is a good conductor of heat. Second reason is that at every temperature, at a normal temperature, at a very high temperature, copper is not going to react with the water, but steel have a tendency to react with the water because copper lie below hydrogen in the reactivity series. It is not going to react with the oxygen, it is not going to react with the water, and it is a good conductor in fact. Clear? So, the main reasons for using the copper in water tanks is that copper is a good conductor. Second reason is that copper do not corrode easily. And the third reason is that copper being lying very at a low at a reactivity series, it means it is lying below hydrogen in the reactivity series, it is not going to react with water. Copper being less reactive do not react with water at any temperature. So, you can see that why we are using the copper tanks instead of the tanks that are made up of steel. So, these are the 3 reasons that why we are preferring the copper. So, this is all about the question number 16. So, this lecture is over here. In this lecture, we have a great discussion about some of the NCERT question. I hope you guys are getting the solutions of each and every problem. So, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.